Hello, viewers and friends. All right, so boy DAPZY'S. I'm Adedapo Walter Adetunji, your data analyst and scientist motivator. I motivate you to difference and with a sense of humor. All right. Yeah, today's motivational content. So this is part two in the Living a Life of Impact series that we started some time ago. Okay, and I'll be going straight into what we have for today. And I'll be starting this series by telling us a short story about myself. How I've been one way or the other, I felt impact from someone, from people around. And I'll be telling this, I'll be saying this about someone. Now, over time, I've had many teachers who have taught me, both in primary school, secondary school, in high school, you know, in the university, that impacted my life, okay? But there was one that was so spectacular. His name is Peter, Mr. Peter. He's watching this now, we hear his name. Mr. Peter Wachuku. Then we call him Paro because the guy was so good. Like, he was so good in mathematics, further math, physics, like name it sciences. All right, and I would say at the time, this man made me derive passion in mathematics because of the way he taught me. And I met him during that period when I was preparing for my GCE, which in my country, Nigeria, we call it the O-level exam. I was preparing for my GCE, my work. And so we attended this tutorial center, and then I met this man and my friends. We met him, and he would teach us. It was an evening class, afternoon class stroke evening, but this man would teach us till late in the night. It would be dark and we'll still be learning. That was how serious it was. Like, the guy would explain mathematics, further math, and break it down. What my teacher in school could not explain to me that I would understand. I found out that I started developing love for math, for further math as a subject. Okay? And this made me even write further math in my final exam in high school. All right? So ever since then, this man in a way impacted my life through his style of teaching. I dared to tell my parents then that I would like this man to come to my house and take me in private lesson just for further mathematics. All right, and alongside again, he will still, due to the passion he had again in teaching, he will still teach me some little things in physics, chemistry. So this guy was good. And he was teaching it in a way to impact my life, in a way to keep something deep within me that I will never forget him. All right, and I will tell you, even as a teacher, that he was a young teacher then, even till now, we still keep in touch. And anytime we discuss, he'll be telling me of how he has met, people that he has taught in the past, how they are doing well, and how he's so happy, and how it gives him joy. This now narrows down into my own life too. After I finished my university, I went into teaching, okay? I went into teaching, and I just found out that I really had interest in also impacting, teaching people, teaching students. And later on, down the line, this is like over many years now that I've left teaching. I now found out that most of my students had graduated from the university. I taught in the high school, and most of them have graduated from the university now, doing well. Some with first class degrees. Came out first class, top in their class, second best, first. Coming first in the universities, in their departments. And recently, one of them sent me a message. He's been trying my number because I was out of the country. He's been trying my number and couldn't reach out to me. And then he found me on LinkedIn, sent a message to me. I gave him my recent line, and then he sent me a message. And the message was so heartwarming that I almost shed tears when I was reading it. This boy started describing to me how I impacted his life while he was in school. Then I used to teach them basic electricity, the engineering students, those that would become engineers, that would read engineering in universities. So back in secondary school, in high school, I take them basic electricity, and was telling me of how the practical lessons of how to design circuit boxes, how I would teach them how to disassemble laptops and work on motherboards, how I would teach them how to repair sockets, how to troubleshoot lamp holders, circuit breakers and all that, how all those things, knowledge actually helped him and built him. You know, how in the lab I would show them the DC power supply, how to operate them. And unknown to me, I was just, just teaching them, just doing what I love doing. This boy now narrated how I would use different playway methods to teach them, to make sure they understand, to get it deep into them. And how when he got into the university, it was so easy for him to navigate his course. He studied computer engineering, and it was like, it was so easy for him to understand the concepts. That even his mates were asking him, how do you learn all these things? And he would always remember me, like, while they're teaching him in class in the university, he would always remember that one Mr. Walter somewhere taught him all these things. And this is me. I've left him. I'm no more in his life. But that knowledge I passed through into him, that impacted his life, actually what made him to keep remembering his teacher who taught him these things, And I asked myself that day that if I had been a bad tutor, or if I had, even giving him immoral advices, like, will he still remember me? Aside even the teaching, I started questioning myself. I just felt so happy and delighted that I've done something. And the message came just early this year, and I felt like, man, this boy made my year. I had to send him a message that you made my year. And this is what we're talking about, impact. All right, so this will lead me to giving you the full meaning of impact, as I said earlier. I'm going to give you. And this is just based on my own theory, on my own knowledge. And I stands for identify a niche. And I'll tell you, identify a niche. And what does this mean? Look for an area. It could be sports. Maybe you are good, in any sporting activity. You could actually impact people's life through your style of play. Through, teaching people how to, go into sports. It could be maybe just like the one I just said now. I was a tutor. I was an educator. All right? And in that area, I was, teaching people. It could also be through maybe, it could also be just reaching out to people through your resources. Through your resources. Or giving people your time. Asking youth or teenagers things about their prospects. What is their life prospects? Guiding them through. And then just identify a niche for yourself. Something special that you're good at. It could be music. You're good at music. Look for how you can musically incline people. Look for how you can engage people musically. Teach them. Identify a niche. That's I. M stands for mentor. Mentor someone. Mentor someone. By the grace of God, I try to actually mentor people. I have some people that I mentor, okay? I have some mentees. And I'm also a mentee to someone who is mentoring me. So be a mentor to someone. By so doing, you're impacting a life. By so doing, you're what? Impacting a life. You're giving out value to someone. You're guiding a life through the right path, through the right course. Mentor someone. P means pursue a course. Pursue a course. A stands for add value. Try to add value. Try to look for how you can add value to people's life. Try to look for how you can add value to people's life. Something that you can be remembered for. By so doing, you are building a legacy. Even for your generation. You might not be the one to benefit from it. But your children unborn can benefit from it because you've added value. Right? You remembered for something. There's something going on now in the social media space. All right, about this popular Afrobeat star. Everybody will know him, Fela Kuti. He has added value, one way or the other, and that way he's being remembered for something. So be remembered for something, add value to people's life. That is A. And C stands for create something. Create something. Just think about what you can create. People have created things and they remember them for it till today. It was someone that created the light bulb. Right? Yes. And it has made an impact. It was someone that created the toothpaste most people use. Alright, we have different toothpaste now. out there. People create it. Create something that you can be remembered for. By so doing, you are impacting lives, generations, impacting generations. And then the last one, T, teach or tutor. Not everyone's going to be a teacher. Not everyone's going to be a coach. But if that's your line, if you know you're good at tutoring someone, that when you speak, when you talk to them, you inspire. And then it changes lives. Come on, start something today, impact lives. There's so many youth out there, so many people, even adults, who don't know how to navigate, the course of their destiny. Some are out there even doing drugs. They are confused. They don't know. There are some who are at the verge of, committing fraud. But when you just do one of these things I've highlighted out of the IMPACT, mentor someone, teach, you can save someone from it. I have a mentee of mine who told me recently. He said, I was at the verge of going into Yahoo, this fraud stuff. But there was a day he just called me and he spoke to me. And then I just said I was not going to do it again. Then he just gave me a reason, like, yes, even though life is hard, still persevere. So these are ways you can actually impact people's lives. You can use your time. Time is rare. Time is money. Sacrifice a part of your time and speak to somebody. Someone doesn't need to hear your voice. I mentioned resources earlier. You might be blessed financially. Give out. Bless people. Don't be stingy. And then you just see that you have also impacted a life by so doing. You can give to the orphanage. All right? To the less privileged. You are impacting lives. And so these are some of the tools that you can use in impacting lives. Your time. Sacrifice your time. Use your resources. I will just stop here now for this part 2 of living a life of impact. Please go out there and leave a legacy behind.